the missing link. And that's something that, hello, first of all, something we can all really realize, to actualize for ourselves, that in a way we all are the missing link. You know, and it is really about that, well, what we become in this world, which is what we learn from experience, that really creates our reality. And that's something I've come to find very, very interesting to look at that, because we never learn that. We never learn to realize our real powers. And I know I've talked about that many times before, but I repeat that, well, because it's important. And yeah, it requires the day-to-day, well, awareness to realize actually our true powers, to realize that we actually, well, give power away. We give power away at work. You know, our power is being used to just basically fulfill our function so the system can function. And we give power away when we get angry over things over which we have ultimately no control over. We blame somebody else or something else outside of us for why things are the way they are. And so that's something I've realized for myself. But I also realize how it's easier to talk about that than to live that, than to practice that. But again, that is really the missing link, the practice. As I began studying about personal development in the mid-90s, I come to find that there is a great amount of literature out there, books written by brilliant minds who talk about that. And there are workshops you can attend, and you get really pumped up by a public speaker there. But then what do you do with that awareness? You know, I mean, usually, well, at least I've come to find that, you know, personal development is about developing skills so you will become successful. You know, so you will be doing more, do a better job, get more money then, and you can, seek the life that you yearn for. But that's exactly it. That's something that I've come to find what is really missing the study of is really what is life first of all about. It's all an ecosystem which we are part of, but we human beings have upset that because we are so much into the controlling of our nature and the dominating nature and also dominating each other, which has really disrupted the balance. And I think it's time to restore the balance, and the way we can do that is really to reconnect ourselves to nature. And that is about the eternal quest, gaining knowledge of self. Who am I really? Not just to realize that, but then to also really become that. You know, to actualize ourselves based upon the realization of who am I really? I think that is something really that requires a further study. You know, in the day-to-day, well, the study that we really can engage in, not really as we go to a school, where really there's a teacher in the traditional sense, because nobody can teach us that. But the point is that we can learn that. And that's what I think is fascinating, you know, that through the experience we create our own reality. And the experience that we have become part of this world, the reality of this world is the way it is because that's what we have created, and that is a projection of that which lies within ourselves. And it got there through experience. So it's like a vicious cycle almost, you know, in history repeating itself as we have not really learned our lessons. And that is also something I've come to find very, very important, to look at that. What have I learned from experience? What have I learned from the past? And it's not just for us individually, that is especially for us as a human race. What have we learned? You know, from all the war, suffering and injustice, which has been the theme of human history ever since the beginning of time. So what have we learned? And what are we here to learn? And how we can we create a better world as we change ourselves, as we work on ourselves. And those are also the two steps here, is the learning and working. Very, very natural elements of life. We don't really see that because they have become alienated from ourselves. They have become functions we fulfill. As we go to a school, there we learn, and then later on in life we get a job where we work to make money to survive. But if you look at the side effect of all of that, and if you look at the system that we have created and the effect the system has on our human nature, and then first of all to really ask, what is that? What is my nature? And how are we there connected to everything? That's very interesting. That's what I offer here, to look at that, is Realize to Actualize. So thank you for watching. Many greetings here from Germany on a very, very cold February day, 0 degrees. But summer is around the corner. Spring, first of all, comes spring, summer, fall and winter. You know, the seasons always change. Everything does change all the time. But I've come to find also it's interesting if you look at us human beings that we have stopped changing a long time ago, as we have become conditioned to act the way we do, we think the way we do. You know, we are driven by the routine, and then we have stopped changing, and we look for change outside of us. That's the basic idea, really, very fundamental idea, that when we change ourselves, we change this world. The most difficult thing to really work on oneself, is really also the most important thing, because then we change the world.